Well, hi, neighbor. Time for another edition of Litter Media Live for this Thursday. It is September 28th of 2023.
This is the last Thursday of the month, Dan.
It is.
Tomorrow will be the last Friday.
Generally happens 4 times a month, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And this is that day.
Yes, sir.
Is it just me, or do you look like you're off screen a little bit?
Well, right now I'm trying to share so I can't see where I am. So, did you guys move the camera on me this morning? I'm sitting where I usually sit.
Does he look all right? Looks good to me. Speaking to...
He almost said, he looks good enough. Could you move him further off the other way? Yeah. Get the old sheep hook or crook or whatever it was and pull him off there.
That off camera is Aaron Glandon. We have yet to introduce Aaron on camera, so get over here. Come on in. Step in here.
Step in here between us like the rose between two thorns.
Yes. And we'll even let you wear that shirt.
Now, you young ladies out there, just keep control. Yes, there he is.
Yes, here he is. He's sliding into our picture now, even as we speak there. Aaron is our newest member of the Litter Media team, and I tell you, Mike, he's been reading my mind. It's crazy how he is putting in information into the computer, and it's like I'm just going mental telepathy, and it's going right to his fingertips, and he's getting stuff done like crazy. It's amazing.
Aaron, I'll begin the deprogramming program for you next week.
Well, I was telling my wife that I said he's learned in just 3 days everything it took me 4.5 years to learn. So...
Hey.
And I don't know if that has something to do with the aging process or what.
Well, we all know that the kids are the ones that understand all these computer programs.
So, well, they've grown up with it.
Yeah,
we were thrown into it.
That's literally.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And it came to the point that if we didn't learn some of it, we would have lost our jobs. You know. Yeah. And here's a radio bit for you. I was surprised that a number of the longtime pros that I had worked with when we got to the digital age, some said, I just can't do it, I'm out.
I remember one in particular.
Yeah.
I will not do that. Yeah.
So, at any rate, we have stepped up with the times, and we have young blood with us now, so we appreciate that. And I'm sure that Aunt Ruth is happy to see her grandson.
And Mom and Dad, if they're watching in too, yes. Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at what's happening with our forecast here today as we jump into almost the weekend.
Did you get any rain at your place yesterday?
We did get a little bit, yes.
I mean, it was very, very little at our place. Not enough to even do any good, but a little bit of lingering showers that passed us by this morning. Mostly cloudy skies today. I saw there's a slight chance of maybe a pop-up shower this afternoon. Cooler with a high of 72. Some sunshine, 75 tomorrow. And then if you're looking at going outdoors for a weenie roast or a high school football game, a little chilly tomorrow night, 59.
You know, if they could have a weenie roast at a high school football game, I can hang with that.
Well, I know they used to do bonfires.
Yeah, that was usually
like
on Thursday nights before.
You'd think somebody probably roasted some weenies and marshmallows while they were doing that.
I don't know. I mean, some of the stuff I've seen them put together for a bonfire, I don't know if I'd want to put a hot dog stick close to it, you know, or eat after what was being burnt. But all right, coming up in a moment, we'll take a look at news topics for you. We have sports on the way, this date in history as well. So all that is just ahead. And I'm going to have to. Are we going Scioto Valley Dumpsters or Accurate Heating and Cooling? You wrote down Accurate. All right, so before we get to news, Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your total comfort advisor. By the way, they'll be here next week to change the filter. Just letting you know that ahead of time.
Okay.
They may do it during the show.
Hopefully Monday when I'm not here.
If they do it during the show, that'd be really cool. We could put a remote camera over and watch them go in behind the inner workings of Litter Media and the Litter Loft. But Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, if you've got an issue that you need to be taken care of, or maybe your system is old and it's time to replace something new, or you want to really go all out for your business or your home. Maybe you're building a new home. Why not put it in right the first time? Call our friends at Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. How do you get their number? Click on this ad anywhere you see it at littermedia.com. News is next.
Whenever I first applied for the Archways opportunity, oh, do I have to pay this back? Do I have to do that? Like, is it a loan? And it's not. It's a scholarship. A goal of mine is to graduate college debt-free. If you're a crew member, you get $2,500 a year, and if you're a manager, you get $3,000. And especially if you're going locally to college, like to the branch or something like that, it's really helpful.
You haven't had vodka soda like this. No one has. Made with the world's smoothest vodka plus real juice. New White Claw Vodka Soda.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652. To lead off our news, which you can find details on our website, littermedia.com, or on our social media, whether it be X, formerly known as Twitter, or our Facebook page. Here's what we've been talking about. And earlier today, we started off with the Oktoberfest with Tiffany Baldwin.
Well, you interviewed her, so you tell me what you talked about.
They've got a contest coming up that has received a lot of attention from when we made our announcement and sharing of it. It's the Wiener Dog Contest. Dozens of dachshunds will be roaming through the Majestic Theater green space. That's where the track is going to be, and she talks a little bit more about that.
This year, as I was mentioning to you earlier, we're starting off with something new, which is our wiener dog races. So I think the kids will certainly love that. And as of yesterday, I heard we have 40 dogs registered.
Dozens of dachshunds will be there.
Dozens, for sure. So, and we'll have also face painting available for the kids. Flossie's will be there, and she'll be spinning her cotton candy and popcorn and different things like that.
And they'll have beer chugging, stein holding. I didn't know that was a thing, but I guess they fill the stein up with beer. You hold the stein, and you hold it as long as you can. There's certain levels that you have to hold it, I guess. And this is a qualifier for the state competition, which will take place in Cincinnati next weekend.
It's not like the Young Frankenstein when they did the and smash the stein.
No, not quite like that. Yeah. But yeah, I guess you gotta hold that stein out there, and so your chance to a woman and a man will make it qualifying for Cincinnati next weekend.
Gotcha.
So if you want to learn more, just take a look at our video page. Is it up on our YouTube channel yet? It's uploading to our YouTube channel right now, so you'll be able to see that as well.
And you also recently had an interview with A.J. Good about the festival he's got going on.
Pale Fest is coming up, and that will be
every once in a while. When I get past the stress,
15th, and
I can take a second and be like, "Wow, this is
my life." The other day, and you've built quite a life. This all started just as I was first introduced to the A.J. Good brand about 15 years ago. I think when I started seeing "I Hate A.J. Good." That is true. But
what is this all about?
He will have his museum
and it's still
open.
working.
It's still working, and it has turned into what it is today. It's family.
Did you ever
dream that something like this would happen 15 years ago?
I think I'd known forever that I was going to do something, but I thought for sure that it was either going to be music was the first thing. Like I drummed since I was 3 years old.
They've got people coming here from Australia, England, and other points around the world as well.
Now, this involves different types of masks. Is that what?
Masks, music, and everything else. The masks all started by his love and fandom of the rock group Slipknot, heavy metal band, which all wear masks, and that has taken on a new life. He has 165,000 subscribers to his YouTube channel.
Wow.
People that are like-minded, and many of them are coming here that weekend in Chillicothe. So you talk about our World Heritage designation. Well, here the world's coming to our doorstep before you know it.
Yeah, for a lot of different reasons.
Precisely.
Entertainment stage events for the Circleville Pumpkin Show have been announced. 4 different stage schedules can be found on our website story at littermedia.com. So instead of a chronological order schedule of events, this is what each of the 4 stage stages will have on the respective dates, but you can find each of those schedules in our website story. Demolition of the Essex building in Lancaster has gotten underway. We were telling you about this maybe 2 or 3 months ago on our website story about this project coming. Well, these photos that came from Mayor David Scheffler show that the work has gotten underway. Now, the building in the middle of the block was the first to go. The white block building on the right side is the next, which will make way for parking. Now, the architect's depiction of the future appearance reveals the finished project as big changes are coming. This is an approximate $20 million renovation that will bring 60 apartments to the second and third floors and retail space on the first floor. And the work should take about 2 years to complete, so that'll kind of change the skyline a little bit there in downtown Lancaster. And speaking of Mayor Scheffler, don't want to give this away, but we'll have a website story that will involve him, and we'll tell you about that later today and tomorrow at littermedia.com. The annual Meet the Candidates Night will be held October 3rd at the Ross County Service Center, sponsored by the Chillicothe-Ross League of Women Voters. Doors open that day at 6:30 p.m. The program is at 7. This is a return to the traditional form after missing the last 2 years due to COVID. All candidates for the mayor or the city of Chillicothe and all council positions are invited to participate, with each candidate making a personal statement, then answering a couple of questions. Now, on that website story, you'll find where you can submit your question in advance. They're not taking questions from the audience the night of the event. They have a panel that will ask questions that evening, but all spectator questions have to be submitted in advance.
And if you want to hear the conversation that I had with
we'll be looking at
Bart
national
Henshaw about this night in
this
particular,
is,
you'll find that
an
on our
off-year
YouTube
election,
channel.
and
So
like,
she
these are
also,
gonna
I
be
believe she
city
mentions in there,
candidates.
if
Now,
not, it
we're
was something
doing
I
a
discovered later,
program,
that
Vote
the
411,
last day
and
to
for the
register
first
to
time,
vote is
it
coming
will
up,
be
I think,
available
October
for local
10th.
candidates.
So
It's
that's
always
just
been a part
little over
of
10 days away now.
the
And
information.
if you can't make it to
state-
that live event on the 3rd, they're going to be live streaming it on the League's Facebook page. An effort is underway in Ross County to create a monument for local military personnel killed in the war on global terrorism. The proposed monument would be located in the southwest corner of Veterans Memorial Park on Octangi Boulevard to pay tribute to Gavin Colburn, Aaron Reed, Brad Clemens, and Josh Geyer, who were killed in the line of duty in that war against terror.
I understand this monument is going to be what they call the Soldier's Cross, in which they have the gun along with the helmet and everything based right there, and a chance to sit around and be able to look at this monument and reflect, certainly on those who have passed. You can see that video on our YouTube channel now with Bob Leach, and also I started to say
Miss Lipinski Hatfield.
Yes, Melody.
I couldn't think of her
Melody
first name.
Lipinski Hatfield.
Yeah.
She got married.
Got married. Bless her heart. And aren't they working on location of a museum in one of the current buildings there?
That's what the main gist of the interview is about. But we started off talking about this global war on terrorism monument, remembering our local men who were killed during that action.
Yeah. Check that out. Ross County Health District was awarded $150,000 through the Ohio Department of Health's Adolescent Health Resiliency Grant. The 3-year grant will fund trauma-informed care training for adults who work with adolescents. Moving over into our road report, we're taking into Highland County today. Work is underway on a bridge replacement on State Route 41 between Birch Lane and the village of Greenfield, where I was born. State Route 41 will be closed for 60 days for this construction. During that closure, traffic is detoured via State Route 28, 138, and US 35. That project should be nearing completion here by the end of this month.
And part of that is closed due to the birthplace of Mike Smith marker that they're putting right there.
Probably not, yeah. I think there's a General Hall marker on, the big Ohio sign going on. I don't think my name will ever make it on there. Yeah.
And sometimes that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Want to say hi to folks watching today with us already today, like Jennifer McGuire, Lori Bennett, Steve Lewis, who checks in and says homecoming week for the Waverly Tigers.
Ooh.
And they had their bonfire last night.
Really?
There's a parade tomorrow, which will take place. I believe that goes through town just before the game itself. So your chance to experience that down in Waverly. Also, Aunt Ruth is watching. Hi, Aunt Ruth, along with Scott Tuttle, Mary Ann Ramsey, Sheila Gray, I believe that's Dr. Sheila Gray, Jane Shackley, and also Rick Bethel. Thank you for watching today here on Litter Media. We'll take a look at sports for you here in just a moment, but first let's tell you about Scioto Valley Dumpsters, one of our fine sponsors. If you've got a cleanup job that you need done, in many instances they can do the cleanup job, but they also provide dumpsters. So if you're looking for a dumpster for your home, or maybe for a residence, not a residence, but commercial need that you might have for a dumpster, they can provide that for you at a comfortable price for you as well. Very affordable. So if you want to learn more, give them a call at 740-253-8389 for Scioto Valley Dumpsters. They're the orange ones there that has the Scioto Valley Dumpsters logo on it. Thanks for watching, and thank you, Scioto Valley Dumpsters. Coming up, sports next.
Big yards, small yards, hilly yards, silly yards. Every yard is unique, and every yard, no matter how much you love it, can be uniquely frustrating to mow. That's why Country Clipper is designed to tackle any obstacle imaginable. It's the perfect mower for even the most imperfect yard. Country Clipper, engineered for easy.
At Rathkamp Financial, we offer customized investment solutions and superior client service. We believe in long-term relationships and working to earn your continued trust. Our greatest satisfaction comes from working with clients for many years and helping them realize their dreams.
Because sports is so huge, we give a designated segment to sports every day.
And that's coming up less than an hour from now at noon on the Litter Media Game of the Week pregame show.
And this week it's the Bloom Carroll Bulldogs coming to Tarleton to take on the Logan Elm Braves.
This place is going to be rocking Friday night. Yeah. So join us for that. We'll have interviews with both coaches and our athlete of the week from Neil Coleman Insurance, Wyandotte Insurance. And
we'll announce that for you.
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned because I'm filling in for Tom Beard this week. And
you want to do a couple of quarters?
You and I are play-by-play announcers.
I don't think we've ever worked together.
I don't think we've never in a live action. There wasn't something completely off the wall like our golf outings we used to do. But we've never been to do it at the same time on the same broadcast. We've done the same game before, but on different stations.
That's correct.
So I'm concerned with my game analysis. I'm not real sure. I'm more concerned about that than I am keeping stats.
Yeah, keep your you'll be looking at the cheerleaders, the marching band, because that's what you're usually videoing.
Well, for the last 6 years, I've watched games far differently than what I did for the 35 seasons in the press box.
Yeah.
And I remember saying, I don't think I ever can go back to the press box again, and here I am this weekend.
Yeah. He heard there was food up there too, so he's looking.
Did you guys have food when we were there last?
Well, they was there, but I didn't partake.
Is that right?
I stayed out of it, but they invited us to get into the fridge. So this week I may change that. Yeah,
I just might do that.
Yeah, actually, they did bring us a sandwich, and I just didn't have time to eat it. So yeah, I think Tom ate his though.
No question there.
But join us for the preview show this afternoon at noon, and then, of course, the game tomorrow night on Litter Media Radio. Speaking of football, the Waylersburg at Oak Hill football game for Friday has been canceled. As you know from our previous broadcast, Oak Hill football's had a struggle this year with low player numbers and injuries, and they've just gone ahead and canceled that game tomorrow. It will not be rescheduled.
how does this play out now for Berg, who's 3-3?
Mm-hmm.
And now I think it would have to help them accepting the top 16 teams in the region. I don't think it's going to hurt them losing this game in regards to losing it from the schedule.
Yeah, Oak Hill wasn't going to offer them many points. So,
and with a canceled event, you don't get points for beating someone, right?
Right. But if you looked closely at our OHSA rankings that came out earlier this week, there are teams with one loss in certain divisions and regions that are in the 16. So
yeah, and I think at the Division I level, there are some regions that don't even have 16 teams.
Yeah, I think I saw one with 15. So yeah, so I have a feeling if Berg, certainly if they win out, they'll definitely be in. Boys tournament golf continued yesterday in the Division III sectional. First of all, at the JCs, district qualifying teams are West Union, North Adams, Lynchburg Clay, Manchester, and Lucasville Valley. Individual golfers that qualified on a non-qualifying team are Gavin Smith and Tucker Taylor of Huntington, Braden Pop of Southeastern, Kelton Robinson of Peebles, and Bo White of Crooksville. Staying in Division III, but at Big Beaver Golf Course. That's down in the southern part of the district. Qualifying teams are Coalgrove Dawson Bryant, Waterford, Eastern Meigs, Belpre, and Eastern Pike. Individual qualifiers are Eli Ford and Samuel Walker of Ironton St. Joe, Owen Malt of South Webster, Tristan Large of Clay, that's in Portsmouth Clay, and Reese Johnson of Racine Southern. Late this morning, the All-SVC girls golf team was announced. Westfall's Paige Weiss is this year's Player of the Year. And then here is the complete list of all of the young ladies that made the All-SVC team. And just like it is with the boys' conference team, which will come out either today, tomorrow, or next week, just depends on when the coaches get all their numbers in. This is not voted on. This is based on best average score, and that includes the Player of the Year. Turning over to soccer, big matchup in the Mid-State League last night. Fairfield Union and Tays Valley boys went into this both undefeated in the conference, and the Falcons pull out a 4-3 win to take over sole possession of first place in Mid-State League boys Buckeye Division Soccer. 2 matches to play. The Reds had a big opportunity last night to pick up some ground, but they couldn't get it done. They lose not only the Ohio Cup to the Guardians 4-3, but stay a game and a half out as we understand it. But there's only 3 games remaining in the season.
Yeah. And for this, I can understand the Guardians winning this matchup just due to the fact that it was the last home game for Tito. And as you see on the graphic there, he's waving to the crowd. Thank you very much for your support over the years. And let's see what we can do about ruining the Reds' chances of making it into the playoffs. From what I have taken a look at here today, the Marlins are tied with the Cubs. Now, Major League Baseball has the Marlins playing the Brewers if the season ended today, and the Cubs out. But in taking a look at the Fox Sports app, it has the Cubs still in, but not the Marlins. So I'm guessing there must be a tiebreaker there that the Marlins must have over the Cubs.
You'd think Major League Baseball would have a better understanding of than Fox Sports. Yeah.
So here's what needs to happen for the Reds to still have a shot.
They got to win all 3 games.
They got to sweep the Cardinals in St. Louis. That doesn't happen very often, even to this St. Louis team. The Brewers would need to sweep the Cubs. Now, that's a very good possibility. Sure. They're playing that in Milwaukee. The Pirates, who seem to win when you don't need them to, they need to win 2 of their 3 games against the Marlins this weekend. And the Astros need to sweep the Diamondbacks in Houston. So you got the Diamondbacks, who right now look like they're a shoe-in. But if they lose 2 of those games, plus they got a makeup game with the White Sox today. If the White Sox would beat them, that causes a situation for the Diamondbacks. So this is all craziness. Remember when it was just the division winner wins and they go on before the wild card days came along. But now this is why Major League Baseball loves it, I think, because people talk about it and they want to see how it's going to play out.
I remember, of course, you're just a young pup,
Yes.
when there was a National League winner and an American League winner. There were no wild cards, no second place, no different divisions. There was just one winner in each league to play for the World Series.
And there was a senior circuit and junior circuit. They don't use those terminology anymore, in that respect. So
stay tuned on how that all happens.
One other sports note for you. This Saturday, big event for big-time wrestling. It's the professional big-time wrestling taking place at Ohio University Chillicothe. And Bret the Hitman Hart is going to be there. Now, I don't know that he's going to participate in the ring. I'm not real sure. But he's the guy you see in the middle of the poster right there. And he is a very popular wrestler. They will have their fan fest going on. This thing drew more than 4,500 people the last time they had this.
I think that goes from noon to 5,
yes.
the Fan Fest.
And so the wrestling itself, I believe, begins at 7 this coming Saturday night. So it's all taking place up at OUC. And this is Bobby Fulton's group. And Dylan Hines has pretty much taken over the promotion of this. He is Bobby's oldest son. And now his younger son is wrestling now.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if he's on the card for this one or not, but I know they've been bouncing around, making appearances with NWA, I believe. And so it's cool to see this next generation coming along. Bobby wrestled for 40 years. He's no longer physically able to do so, but he's managing. Yeah. And he's playing the other parts and coaching and all that kind of stuff.
I have seen him at the gymnasium working out. Maybe he's going to make a comeback.
I never know. You never know. I have been there when we've seen the belt pass hands. So you just never know what's going to happen. All right, coming up in just a moment, we'll take a look at this date in history, and we dial the Litter Media Wayback Machine for
baseball 1941, last day of the regular season.
World War II era, all coming up right after this.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
Budweiser beer, the king is second to...
Who drinks Budweiser? You know the type. The people who grind. Those who don't back down. And the ones who don't quit. They say all people are 6 degrees of separation away from each other. But some are just a 6-pack away. The people who share the same spirit, share the same beer. This Bud's for you.
This date in history, 1941.
Last day of the regular season that year, and better known as his nickname, the Splendid Splinter. The Boston Red Sox, Ted Williams, gets 6 hits in 8 at-bats during a doubleheader in Philadelphia. It boosted his average to .406, which is a record to this date. He became the first player since 1930 to hit 400 for the season, but no one in Major League Baseball has ever surpassed 400 for the season since Ted Williams did this in 1941.
Is Tony Gwynn probably the closest?
I think he was up in the 380s one year, but for America, World War II starts later in 41. Ted Williams would miss 1942 through the end of World War II, and then he missed a year and a half during the Korean War. So you're looking at 4.5 almost 5 years that Ted Williams is out, he hits over 500 career home runs. What's he do?
Right.
He might have beaten Babe Ruth's record, and yet he was a hitter for average. Ted Williams, 406 in 1941.
And I wonder if his average would have been much lower over those 4 years. You take a look at
you got to remember, he's still in his prime.
Right. Yeah.
When he sits out during World War II.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I was looking at Joey Votto's statistics, and his stats are up there with every Reds great player. It's amazing how he's in like the top 3 of most of the categories. And to see him batting right at around 200 right now. And I thought to myself, I wonder what Pete Rose was doing his last year. Well, he was batting like 210.
Wow.
His last year. But he was also managing the ball club.
And gambling.
And making wagers, you know.
Yeah. I don't need this gig. I got something else going here.
Gotta pay for all those kids he's got, right? So
wow.
Yeah. More folks checking in. Thank you, Randy Seitz, also Alicia Clay, Erin Deal. We'll probably see her at the game Friday night, and Timmy Allen. Hi, Tim. How you doing?
Tool time.
And he's got Taze Valley Amanda Friday.
Okay.
So he's all excited about that. Former classmate of mine. So before we wrap up the show today, I was looking at the Trail Life Kids, which is it's an alternative to the Boy Scouts. They have a version for the girls also, and this was what my brother was involved with. They're celebrating their 10th anniversary this year, and it's the 10th annual Jim Ramey's Daniel Boone Base Camp.
That's neat.
And the base camp is something that they've had each year, and they have all kinds of neat things that the kids get a chance to do. One of the things that's on here, however, it is where is it here? It is Jim's Coffee Competition.
Okay.
This takes place at 4:30 on the Saturday. What is the third week of the month of October? These kids have to build a fire, make the coffee, and then bring the coffee to the troop leader to drink it. And they have 2 divisions. One is brown and the other is black. And the black coffee is just as raw coffee as you can make it. And I'm trying to remember the terminology they use for the brown. The brown is like Starbucks, nothing but water and sugar, you know, that kind of thing, and cream. So, but the thing is, you can't use any kind of accelerant. You have to build the fire from scratch. And I was looking at all these rules they have for this. It's incredible. And I'm like, my brother was involved in making this happen.
Wow. Yeah. Do the kids have to taste the coffee to see if it's palatable?
I don't know. But I do know that they decided that in recent years there's been difficulty for the troop leaders to drink the coffee because it's so hot.
Okay.
So what they have done is they've built an ice station, and with the popularity of iced tea or iced coffee now, the kids have that option to run over and get ice, throw it into the coffee, then give it to the troop leader, and then they drink it.
That's neat. That's interesting. Where is this event?
I believe it takes place up around, is it Fredericktown, I think?
There is a Fredericktown.
Yeah. And I think that's where it's at.
Okay.
I need to find out because I think this year I'm going to try and make an appearance.
And what's the month?
In October.
In October.
So it's like the third week of October. And it's the October 20th, 21st, and 23rd, or 22nd. So, yeah.
Drink the coffee while you're up there.
Yeah. Brother Jim passed away a couple of years ago, and this is... he was one of the founders of this event, and so they decided to name it after him. So not only does Daniel Boone get to share his name with my brother Jim, it's just kind of weird.
That's
so
neat.
Yeah. So at any rate, just wanted to share that with you today. All right, coming up in a moment, we'll have our Litter Media Game of the Week pregame show featuring both coaches from Bloom Carroll and Logan Elm, an opportunity to hear that. So if you're a football fan, you'll want to pay attention, especially if you're a Braves fan or a Bulldogs fan.
Absolutely.
All right, so that is on the way at noon here on Litter Media. Thanks for watching. Back with you here in just a bit.